Hi, my name is Keith Nickel, and today what I'd like to look at is an off-season activity that I think might suit many beginner and intermediate cross-country skiers. Now, most of the people that I know through the summertime who are cross-country skiers do things like biking, they maybe do hiking, sea kayaking, maybe some trail running or canoeing, depending on where they're located, but none of these activities have any specific cross-country ski skill development associated with them. Great for cardio and great for conditioning, but they don't really improve your cross-country skiing technique. Now, the best off-season activity for maintaining or improving your cross-country skiing is roller skiing because it mimics cross-country skiing so well, whether it be classic or skating. But there's expense involved in getting the equipment, and also the risk. If you fall on pavement, it's a whole lot harder than if you fall on snow. So unless you've got great balance, I don't recommend trying roller skiing for your off-season conditioning to develop cross-country ski skills. So today what I'm looking at are some poles that I'm testing by Urban Poling, and I think they may be a big help for those beginner intermediate cross-country skiers to improve their poling. These poles have got a lot of nice features about them. Let me just quickly review some of those. Number one, they collapse. Pretty small like this to store away in the trunk or in the closet when you're not using them. They've got a very kind of innovative listing along here in terms of your height. So you can just dial in your height. For instance, I'm here at 6'2". So this clamping mechanism really gives a nice solid locking system like that, so they're nice and firm. My wife has been testing me. She's 5'6", so all she has to do is slide it down to her height, 5'6", and she's got the right height for herself. Now, this locking mechanism is very solid. Other types of poles have got these twist things like this, and they work pretty well, but sometimes, you know, they slide when you're pushing down on them, and that's the last thing you want to have happen. Locking mechanism right here is a whole lot more solid than sort of the twist locking system. But I think the real nice thing about these poles that will benefit people wanting to pole is this big, wide lip right here, which is really going to encourage you to push down and back when you pole. Compare that to most other poles, and you can see that there's a little bit of a lip here for your palm of your hand, but nothing like this. And this is what I think might really help those people, beginner intermediate skiers, working on their cross-country classic technique to improve their poling. Now, most of the people that I see Nordic walking when I go out in our neighborhood are seniors. They're kind of walking something like this with very small kind of arm motion, something like that. Or perhaps they're even flicking the poles ahead like this. Or in some cases, they got the poles kind of out here like this, more or less for balance. And I find the same thing when I'm teaching cross-country skiing. I see this, people using the poles incorrectly, sometimes for balance, which is okay when you're just getting started, but both in my in-person lessons and in my fast track program where people send in videos of themselves for analysis, I see a lot of people when they're classic cross-country skiing really kind of reaching with their poles, kind of like this, kind of way out here, stopping the poling like this, kind of getting a real straight arm or maybe a slightly bent arm when they pole. Now remember, the strongest poling position is when this elbow right here is at 90 degrees. Pole is angled back. Not flicking the pole forward, not reaching like this, but having it like this. And doing a poling motion like this with the pole angle back, keeping that 90 degrees. And this is where this lip that I was talking about here really comes in handy, because you can really push down and back with that. You can really start using your body to move you forward when you're Nordic walk, or as I'm saying, looking at this for cross-country skiers, think about this as an application for cross-country skiing. So let me just give you a quick example of a cross-country skier I came across last year in my in-person lessons. And this person had been skiing for quite a while, wanted to improve their classic skiing. So I said, okay, well, let's just see you go up and down the track. And she went down, kind of like this, really doing a big reach like this, stopping the poling in here. And I said, you're doing this huge reach way out here. She said, well, a friend of mine told me 10 years ago that I'm really supposed to reach when I pull. You're supposed to kind of go like this. I said, no, 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 no. This is a weak position. This is so much stronger. Pole angle back, keeping this 90-degree bend like this, kind of pulling like this, is going to be so much stronger. So for a lot of those individuals, and I see many of them at our cross-country ski resort that do this reaching motion, they could really benefit from Nordic walking, particularly with a pole like this, which is going to encourage this drop on the pole and reminding people to keep that 90-degree bend. So let me just demonstrate what I mean by this 90-degree bend and how you can generate power. Okay, so when we pole in cross-country skiing, what we want to do is we want to start with our abs. We want to do a little bit of a drop like this, kind of with the abs first of all. Then we employ the back and shoulder muscles as the arm is going through here. And then finally, we're using the arm. It's not just a motion like this where we hardly get any propulsion forward. We're really using this whole set of muscles through here to give us power. And when you Nordic walk like that, you can also be amazed at how much quicker you can walk by using some of these ab muscles to help you stride. Okay, so let me just demonstrate. So what I'm working on here is this kind of this drop, keeping the pole angle back. Think about really using the torso first, then arm, then wrist. So as I'm walking right toward you, you can see that I'm pushing down, back, and the arm motion is kind of going like this. Notice that we don't get a full kind of motion like this as we would in cross-country skiing because we don't have any glide. So the poling going to be shorter, but really emphasizing the starting of the poling with this body drop and pushing back to here. That's what these poles really emphasize, and a lot of classic cross-country skiers, particularly the beginner intermediates, could benefit from that. If you want more information on urban poling, I'll put a link in the description below to their website. And if you'd like to check out our Fast Track program, you can contact me by email at the end of this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with skiers you think might benefit. See you on the trail.